If you really want to rank on Google and AI tools in the future, then having keyword research, structure for your website, and a plan is the best way to start yourself on the right foot so that you can dominate in your area. But too many businesses don't have a plan. They don't know what keywords they are targeting with their homepage, with their secondary pages, and this leads to lackluster results. My name is Josh Thompson. I'm the founder of Brightbeam SEO, local search experts, where we focus on local SEO, Google Map rankings, and helping businesses grow and lower their cost per lead through SEO strategies. And in this video, I want to talk and show you how to do keyword research along with a pages plan so that you know exactly what keywords to target, how to find those keywords, and how to structure your website's service pages, especially so that you can take advantage of those keywords. Now, I'm not going to create any content here, but we are going to make a plan as to what pages are going to go on the site. And I'm going to show you how to do the keyword research and find all of this information from, I'm going to use SEMrush, but it doesn't matter where you get that information for the keywords, Google Maps, and competitor websites. So with that, let's jump in. So I'm going to be using this sheet, just a Google sheet that I use for my clients to keep organized my structure. So this is a new client. This is a plumber, and I'm going to go through and show you what I would do or what I am doing. So the first thing we want to start with is we just generally want to find what keywords are available. Now, if we were trying to do a deeper analysis of keywords, we might go, further down the line here, but I just want to generally at first see what keywords are there for a new business that we're working on, especially when it relates to the cities that we're trying to target. Because remember, we want to target city-specific searches first and see if those are even relevant to us so we can get an idea of the volume for that city. So if I put plumber in here, and then I say include keywords Caldwell, and that's where this plumber is going to be, we can get an idea of how much volume is there and what keywords we can target. Now, here's something interesting right off the bat. We can see that Caldwell, there is a Caldwell, New Jersey, whereas where I'm targeting is Caldwell, Idaho. So that might mess us up a bit here with what we're targeting. But we can see that Caldwell, Idaho, Plumber Caldwell, Idaho does have some search volume. That's awesome for what we're trying to do here. Now, Caldwell Plumbing as well, and we can always just do a Google search. Caldwell Plumbing is likely the name of a store. Let's see. So here's Caldwell Plumbing. This is a business already. However, they are in the Idaho area, which that's good for me because it shows that people who are searching for this are still searching likely for Idaho. Now, I would go through these typically and just make a list, right? Go through any kind of, so that looks like a business name, so I'm going to skip those. Beacon Plumbing, Emergency Plumbing, okay, that's a really good one. Plumber, Plumbing Company, Plumbing Repair, Caldwell Plumber, and I might run through how many results we have. We have a total number of results. let's see. 2 pages of results. So I'm going to stop there. I don't need to go through all of this right now, but suffice it to say, we can go through all of these plumbing keywords, and I'm just going to do it. All right. I'm just going to finish it up. I'll just try to go quickly. Plumbing contractor, plumbing repairs, prime plumbing, Caldwell plumbing reviews, Caldwell. Actually, yes, I want that. I want to target what people might think, what people might search. Okay, plumbing services. So I don't know if that's a company, but I want to target that. So I'm going to finish up here. And this is just so we have trenchless. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't matter. I don't want, he's not in heating, or my customer is not in heating, not in mechanical. All right. So that gives us a pretty good idea. And so what I'll do is I'm going to just export these selected keywords right now to a CSV and paste that onto my sheet. So this is going to give me just some general keywords for the customer, for the area, and just give us generally something that we can look at to better target keywords. All right, so great. Okay, so now I have a list here of all the keywords that I might potentially want to target. And usually the way that we look at this is, there we go. This is the highest volume keyword here. However, because that also matches a company, I actually might want to swap in this instance and target plumber Caldwell. So what do we do? Well, first of all, I think the best thing to do is not really guess. We kind of have some ideas, but let's go in. Let's paste this information into chat and let's say Caldwell Plumbing looks like it's also the exact name of a competitor. Our business that we are analyzing and organizing, pages, a homepage, service pages, and keyword targets for is a plumber also in Caldwell. With this information, what do you suggest as the best SEO in the world? And I also have my whole prompt pasted in here as well. So up above this, what do you suggest we target as our primary keyword? Okay. So I think this is going to say what I think it says, but I don't want to guess. Okay. All right. So chat agrees with me that plumber in Caldwell is going to be our target. And I'm not going to worry too much about all this that we're talking about here. Right now, I just want to come up with our page structure, page title, and I'm going to come up with our target keyword. Okay. And I'm going to put homepage, Plumber Caldwell. Okay, great. Now, here's the thing, right? The deeper we get into the pages that we're going to have on our website, the less likely we are going to have anything showing up as a possible keyword. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try. And we're also going to be targeting other cities. However, we want to target primarily the city, especially if you only have one location that your location is in. So even if you're on the edge of a city and you really want to target the big city, that might be a case where you can kind of choose. But the city where your address is actually located is going to be much easier for you to target than just generally any city in your area. So keep that in mind. But I think just having a target is really what is going to matter. So I'm just going to have a primary keyword here. Obviously, we're going to be choosing some secondary keywords out of these or sprinkling these into our content when we make that content. But for now, I want my homepage to target this Plumber Caldwell while also being a little bit more general about other keywords for my local area, right? So in Boise, we have the Boise area, the Treasure Valley, right? These are all different ways of saying Boise. I'm also going to sprinkle these into there as well because I don't want this to be just Caldwell, but that's the keyword I want to target. Let me explain that really quick again. You're going to have city pages, right, that are going to target your cities very well. So this Caldwell Plumber is also going to be targeted again in my Caldwell City page. But my homepage is going to carry more weight and is more likely to show up for that keyword if I target that. I will outrank people better from my homepage than my secondary page. So it's always important to try to target a city keyword with your homepage as well as creating city pages on top of that, right? And so I hope that makes sense. So now we've got our homepage, and now look, there's going to be a few other pages, right? Basically, we're going to have an About Us page, right? We're going to have a reviews page. We never want to use a testimonials page. We always want to call it reviews because the keyword is going to be your business, right? So if this business is AV Plumbing, then I want to target the keyword AV Plumbing Reviews. Because as you get bigger, this is going to become a search for your business that you want to target. So we're going to have an About Us page, a reviews page, a Contact Us page, and those aren't going to matter too much how they're targeted because they're generally just going to target some general keywords. You might have a few other pages, who are we, whatever else that you want to make. But the other primary now, where we want to focus now is on the service pages, okay? So we're going to make service pages and we're going to make city pages. Even with this, the city pages you can go through, I'll let you do that on your own, and you can target those to cities. Most likely, you're just going to want to do some type of plumbers or plumbing services in city and go through that. But if there are, smaller cities might not have search volume, but if you do have search volume and you have search volume, let's say if I had Nampa plumbers and I wanted to target that, well, then maybe I will target a specific city. But for the most part, I like the uniformity of having all of the pages be similar. But I think that would be a good question or a kind of a case by case. So that's going to be how you target the cities. You can always look for search volume in those cities and find something that matches up for you with city services or with city pages. But what I want to really go through here with this customer is going to be our services, because plumbers have so many services, and I want to get an idea of what service pages we want to target. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab my prompt again. I'm going to paste that into chat, and I'm going to say, now I want to create a list of services for this plumbing client. I want to do this in a way where we have primary services, like a category, and then the secondary services or more specific services within that category. I want to avoid having too many unnecessary pages. So if we can combine pages to keep it simpler, that's fine. But if we are under the impression that there will be search volume, or we are unsure, then keep that service separate. Now, what I want to do, we have our cities, right? Or we have just talking crazy. Okay, we have our general keywords here. And we first want to we have to come up with the services first, and then we need to reverse engineer them and go through the keywords. And then we want to see what kind of keywords do we actually have on Google Maps. I like to check that if I'm ever in doubt. But first of all, one of the best approaches I find is to just go to Maps or just go to Google and pick one of the larger cities. So if I go Los Angeles plumber, I'm going to get a lot of different plumbers. And I can come down here and visit some of the websites of these plumbers. And I can go to services, and I can take, this is great right here, an image capture of all of the services that this company offers. Let's do this. So this is where plumbers, right? Plumbers are just like nuts. They just do a million things. So I'm going to grab all of these residential services, commercial services, trenchless services, okay, emergency, and then I'm going to take a picture of this. Okay, great. Now I have their list. Go here. Let's do it again. Plumbing. Okay, let's get rid of this. Plumbing. You can see we have these services. Sewers. And then I don't need HVAC. And we've got a pretty good list here, but one more here. All right. That I like that, right? So now that we have this gigantic list that probably includes the majority of services that we could offer, I can come in here to my chat, and I'm going to take all of these screenshots. I think it can take up to 10. And I'm going to say, here are a few screenshots of competitors and what they offer. Please use this information to help me create a thorough of services, service options. All right, that should be a pretty strong list here of potential services. It's analyzing. If you were unsure. All right. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Here we go. All right. All right. I love that so much that emergency plumbing is first. I find that to be such a smart way to approach this just on the surface, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to break this up a little bit further. I'm going to have a primary and then a secondary section. I hope that's not too confusing, but this way I'm going to be able to see what services are going under, and I don't want to make that too big of a too difficult to understand, but let's say secondary. All right, great. So now I'm just going to go through and I'm going to create this full list of services. Okay, I like water heaters being separated out. I think that's pretty smart, right? It's leak detection. Okay. And, you know, you're gonna have a good idea of what's right and wrong, especially if it's your website, right? Or the more you really understand about the business. Oops. So now you can see why I put this city pages so far down, because I anticipated this. Oh my gosh. It's too much. I think this is too much, actually. Okay. So now that I see that it's trying to give me gas line, commercial, fixture installation, repiping, water filtration, septic pumping. Okay. So I'm thinking this is probably either needs to be. So I'm going to say, with what you have given me, are we considering these separate pages the higher level and having the lower level bullets be part of the page, not specific pages themselves? What are your thoughts on this for a local service plumber? Sections within those pages. Okay, I can deal with this. Okay. So I like this then generally because we're saying, I'm going to copy and paste this in. Primary bullet level sections within those pages. Spin out secondaries only if they have search volume and clear distinction. So you have given me this list. Okay, so what I want to figure out is for the primary service pages, which we are saying top categories for each of these are, that gives us, how many did it give us? 10 total pages. Is there a way to break these 10 pages into an even higher level category? Higher level categories, or should we just list them the way they are under the category services? I want to see what we can do here, because this is really a tough, plumbing. I like this. This is kind of what I was looking for, right? Like, I think this is a good start for what we're trying to do here. And then I think in the future, maybe we add more pages or we figure out if we need more pages, but this was kind of my thought as well. So now what I really want to do is say, should the pages, category level pages, like core plumbing services, contain actual content, or should those simply be menu items with the link? I want to see what it's thinking here. Okay, great. That's exactly what I want. Do not build standalone pages for these. All right, cool. So this is good. This I think is a better representation of what I was trying to get to. It took a little bit to get there, but now we have, I think, a manageable amount of pages and services that we can ask the client, are these pages that you do, are these services that you offer? So water heaters, I think some of these might change a little bit. I think this is likely going to be water heater installation. Maybe we need a water heater repair page more specifically. But I think this gets us to a structure that's commercial. So I think this starts to get us to a structure that we can, and then I would almost say this is its own thing. So trenchless, specialized, I like this. I like these. Okay. Now what I want to say is I want to take this and I'm going to take this and I'm going to take our initial list that it gave me. I'm going to say that's our first list. That is our second list as the best content specialist and SEO, AEO in the world. I like saying this. I feel like it does help a lot. Is there anything from our second list that we really should not miss, or that should have its own place in our new services structure? Okay, so this is saying hydrojetting. Break it out of drain and sewer services. Hydrojetting. Shows you what I know. Okay. Tankless water heaters. Tankless water heater. Water heater installation. I think that's... maybe that becomes a secondary. Slab lakes dedicated. So it's saying, okay, tankless water heaters in Caldwell get searches. So let's verify. So this is a great time for us to say tankless water heater. And then let's include one keyword, water heater installation, Caldwell County. That must be Caldwell County, Idaho. Caldwell is not in its own county, so that's weird. All right. I don't know if that has much volume, but water heater, let's try that. Water heater repair, right? So water heater replacement, water heater repair, water heater installation. Those are really, maybe we just call this water heater services. And I think we can include that tankless in there. So I'm going to likely need to go through. Let's check here one more time on this hydrojetting. Let's see if it, yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm not too thrilled by that. It seems like it's part of another leak detection and repair. Leak detection. See, that seems more general to me. So let's take this out. Oh, it already is. Why is it? What is it telling me to do then? Water systems, core plumbing services, emergency plumbing, water. Oh, okay. I kind of like that core. So I'm not loving the way this is broken up, if I'm being honest. I like the idea of emergency. So let's send this back. I don't love this. Here is what I want different. I don't love the categories. First of all, I think emergency plumbing services is a better first category. Water heaters deserves its own category. Give me some feedback on how to organize the rest of this with that direction in mind. Emergency water heater. Okay, I like this because it's like, but I think a lot of these already to me were, or maybe just plumbing services, emergency plumbing, drain and sewer, 24-hour plumbing, flooded basement. Drain and sewer services, fixtures, repair. I actually don't hate that. Water heater services. Water heater. Yeah, I like these because these are like, Those are like really high value, I know, for plumbers, right? Is water heater repair. So I like this having its own place. Why this works. Drain and sewer services. See, now it's giving me like 1,000. I don't want 1,000, dude. I don't want 1,000 freaking categories. Max 6. This is much harder than I expected this to be. Emergency plumbing, water heater, drain and sewage, leak detection, plumbing. So, what am I thinking? I like commercial. I like trenchless. I like this. Leak detection and repair. That can go away. That can go away. I don't need those, so I'm going to take these all out. That's good on its own. Specialty plumbing. Okay. Specialty plumbing. Okay. Let's get this. Trenchless. Trenchless. Special sewage commercial. I like that separate. I don't think I need any of these service area pages. Okay. So specialty plumbing now, I think. Sewer replacement. Okay. I'm going to have to dive more into that. I actually don't think this customer does this. Earthquake shutoff valves, trenchless plumbing, gas line, specialized. Was it specialized? Specialty. Okay. Leak detection, repair. I think that says itself. Drain and sewer services. Plumbing services, drain and sewer. So that's going to be this. Trenchless fixtures, repairs and installation, repiping and maintenance. Okay, I like this. I like this. Okay, give me your analysis on this. I have gotten lazy now. Obviously. Expandable, not bloated. Section by section. Okay, great. Okay, so let's do this. Is there anything in this that can be either further clarified for the customer searching site or easier to navigate, combined with another service, duplications, or that is so entirely missing or not obvious that it needs to be considered? Remember, you are the best SEO and content specialist for local SEO and Google business profiles and AEO and everything else. So please consider this thoughtfully and carefully. Okay, clarity, consolidation, fixtures, repairs, and repiping and maintenance. Fixtures, drain and sewer fixtures. Fixture repairs. Okay, I think that's a really good question. I'm going to come back to that. Leak detection. I think I like. Yeah, okay, that would be great for the page. Advanced plumbing. I like specialty. Trench. No, that's very. Earthquake shutoff valves. Okay, yeah, I don't even know what that is, so I'm good with that. Water filtration. See, I actually think water heater services is a water heater services, specialty plumbing, other plumbing. I think we should call this specialty plumbing and then I'm going to put water heater, water filtration, and softeners. I think that's a big one. I think it actually should go the other way. Water softeners, filtration. That's how I'm thinking of this. Plumbing services, water heater, water softeners, leak detection. Now I almost feel like, okay, that might later end up under here. I'm not certain. Specialty plumbing, take that out. Commercial plumbing. Okay, so now let's just really quick. Are these different enough, or should I combine them? I don't think changing the names added any more clarity. Plumbing repair and installation. I like that. What is this? Okay. What about the leak detection here? Is that already obvious in the plumbing repair and installation, basically, or emergency? All right, cool. Oh, keep it separate. Okay, cool. All right, great. Oh, look at that. I don't know how long we've been recording, but I'm sure it's a long time. So with that now, after all that work, we really came up with a strong services that we want to use, right? This is one of the hardest businesses to do this in. But we want to be able to come up with a really strong services drop down menu and pages so that we can cover everything that we need to cover without overdoing it. Now, I'm going to finish this off by really quick going through one or two of these and showing you how I'm going to think about keywords. So I just want to go through first. We already kind of have plumbing services, but there we go right there. Plumbing services in Caldwell, Idaho. So I can target that for this keyword. Okay. Now we can go drain and sewer services. So I can come back to my SEMrush and go drain. Okay, I want to see drain in Caldwell, drain and sewer cleaners. Okay, I'm going to exclude the keyword NJ, so that doesn't show up anymore. Drain cleaning, right? So we have drain cleaning in Caldwell. We have drain services. So I can basically take this list. These aren't very high keywords, but it does give me some things to add. But it's nothing there that I want to target specifically. So this is a water, sewer, trash, called sewage treatment plant, sewer line repair. So that might be something that I would add to our keyword list. For now, I'm just going to copy and paste it over here. So sewer line repair, that's an interesting keyword to consider adding here. Plumbing repair, we already have those, right? So now I can look for, any installation, plumbing installation. Maybe I want to target that, or plumbing repair. Plumbing repair seems to be a better keyword. Okay, water heater, that's a really good one like we talked about. Water heater, right? Now I have water heater repair. That's great. I can target that for this keyword. And then, on top of that, we're going to give these just a simple slug, right? So this plumbing services, Caldwell, Idaho, that's going to be our slug, right? So that's what I'm going to put in for this plumbing service. Actually, no, I'm going to put in plumbing services like this. For this. And actually, we're going to have a plumbing services because that will be our overview for the city page here. So that was a very, maybe overly long. This is a really difficult business. If you stuck with me, cool. If you got something out of it and left, great. Whatever. Had to do this anyways. But that gives you an idea of how to really deep dive into your niche, all the customers, and then you have to kind of go with some of your real world experience or talk to the customer and go through that with them to really just better understand. I know enough about plumbing. I've had enough home issues to know how to think about this. If I didn't know that information, that would have been a much harder process, I believe. But I think I came up with a pretty interesting and pretty well thought out structure. It's going to include everything, but also limit having too many pages. And with that, I'm going to send this over to the customer. I'm going to have him check everything off. Let me know if there's anything he doesn't do. And then I will be off to creating the content. If you want to talk more, brightbeamseo.com. I'm out. We'll see you tomorrow.